This is Homegrown here on Knoxville's independent radio, I105. Cullen hanging out with Zack McCarter, and we were talking during the break about one of my favorite songs and one of your favorite songs, and I would really like it if you did your newest one and then my favorite.
I would love to do that.
Okay.
So this is the latest one that I wrote. And it's called The Rocky Shores. It's a murder ballad with a twist ending. So here it goes. She was lying where I found her, in the grass beside the oak tree, as the sun began to set across the backbone of the hill. My mother warned me not to put my trust in pretty strangers, but if I haven't learned by now, I suppose I never will. Well, she walked into the forest as she beckoned me to follow, but I told her of the girl I love and why I could not go. Then her arms encroached around me like a circle around a hollow, and I did my best to resist, but my zest was running low. Well, she led me through the evening to the bluffs out in the westlands, where the icy waves crashed down upon the rocky shores below. It was then her face contorted as I watched her from the cliffside. Her teeth turned into razors and her eyes began to glow. Well, I stared in awed amazement at the sight that stood before me, where once was a fair maiden, now a snarling beast from hell. She made a flying leap, but my cunning did assure me I moved at the last second, and to the rocky shore she fell. When the police finally showed up to retrieve her broken body, she had already transformed back to the girl that I'd first seen. Well, I told them all my story, but the cops would not believe me, so they locked me in a cell and threw away the key. She was lying where I found her, in the grass beside the oak tree, as the sun began to set across the backbone of the hill. Well, my mother warned me not to put my trust in pretty strangers, but if I haven't learned by now, I suppose I never will.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. You like that one, don't you?
I really do. I like that one a lot. That's the one that I wrote part of in the shower.
I love the imagery that's involved in that.
Thank you.
And that line, resist and zest. That's hysterical. I love that.
Thanks.
So, all right, now it's time for my favorite one.
Okay. Now I really like this one too. This one is called "Here's to Hoping." I can't tell you which is the right path to take. Perhaps you wrongfully assume that I'll learn from my mistakes. The odds are overwhelmingly against you in this game of luck and chance and wolves and thieves, but it's a risk you have to take. Give 'em all the details in a non-descriptive way. and dance around the subject of what you really want to say. The sky is made of nothing, and the ground is made of clay. Here's to hoping that tomorrow ain't the same as yesterday. I can't tell you which is the right path to take. Perhaps you wrongfully assume that I'll learn from my mistakes. The odds are overwhelmingly against you in this game of luck and chance and wolves and thieves, but it's a risk you have to take.
This is Homegrown here on i105, Knoxville's independent radio. Zack McCarter has been our guest, and I really, really appreciate you coming down.
I really appreciate you having me.
I also really appreciate the fact that week in and week out, almost without fail, you show up every Tuesday to the singer-songwriter night at the Preservation Pub. And I really appreciate that. I know the crowd really does. You've made a lot of friends down there. And please keep showing up.
Well, I have a great time every time. So,
and come back and do this again, will you?
Will do.
How can people find more of your music?
I've got it up on YouTube. Just search for Zack McCarter with Z-A-C-K McCarter on YouTube, or you can find me on Facebook. I've got a personal page, it's Zack Brian McCarter, and then a music page which is just Zack McCarter. So,
have you done Reverb Nation or Bandcamp or anything like that yet?
I do. I have a Reverb Nation account, but I haven't updated it in a while.
Okay.
So the songs are kind of old on it, and I don't check it that often.
And even though JT bought MySpace and supposedly brought the sexy back, it's not that sexy, so Reverb Nation's better.
Yeah.
More Homegrown on the way. Thank you for listening to Zack McCarter, and we'll be back in a little bit.